guys, Mark here with Wolters World. We're in Hanover, Germany, one of my towns with some of my good friends. And behind me we have Dinana, some of the fun sculptures they have here in town. And today what we have for you are the 5 things you're going to love and hate about visiting Hanover, Germany. But I'm around the road, so we'll go into town to get a little better view. So what are the things you're not going to like about coming to Hanover? Now the first thing you should know is Hanover was pretty much destroyed, leveled during the Second World War. So there's not a lot of historic feel still left. Now behind me you can see some of the restored historic buildings. They've done a great job here in the old historic center to make it nice again, the market church and all kinds of stuff. But just know that when you come out of the train station, all you're going to see is like 1960s, 70s to 90s built buildings, and you don't get that kind of German feel to it because it is kind of just, cement and glass. So that's kind of the first thing. The city is kind of ugly when you first come out. Just know that a lot of it was lost during the war. And actually, if you go to the town hall, they'll actually show you like before and after the war, so you can see the destruction that was there to see what they kind of had to start with. The second thing you're not going to like about Hanover is, guys, this is a world famous city with all the trade fairs and everything, and you're expecting this kind of big city atmosphere with tons of stuff going on and tons of nightlife and museums and all kinds of stuff. And they say is, Hanover is the biggest small town in Germany, and if you come with that kind of mentality, you'll be a lot happier than if you're expecting a Berlin or a Hamburg, because it is much more of a small town feel when you're here. But again, since it's so famous, you're expecting more, so you kind of feel like you're missing out, or why not go to Hamburg or Berlin? But it is a nice town to go to, though it's the size of a city. So that's the second thing you're not going to like. Now, the third thing you're not going to like is when you first come out of the train station, a lot of people, this is a big hub for trains in Germany, and so whether you're going, Berlin to east-west, or you're going north-south via Frankfurt to Hamburg or something, you're going to pass through Hanover. And the thing is that it is kind of like a big chaos in the train station, and when you walk out, sometimes there's some people that are a little unsavory, let's say, but don't worry. Just know that there's very helpful staff in that train station. They will help you. It can be confusing, but just ask. And the guys with the dogs and the dance music and stuff like that might freak you out when you're there, don't worry, they're not going to cause you any problems. They're just there. So just know that I've seen a lot of tourists come out and be really disheartened when they saw that and kind of scared. Don't be scared, it'll be okay. Now, the fourth thing you're not going to like about Hanover is pretty much like anywhere in Germany, is you're not going to have the best weather when you're here. So what I recommend is if you are here, there's so much great green space and the sea and Marseille and the parks and everything. When you have a sunny day, go enjoy the outdoors because there's so many opportunities here. But just know the weather usually does suck, so just be prepared for that. And the fifth thing you're not going to like about coming to Hanover is, guys, I'll say, I talk about bad German service. No, service in Germany is very professional, but not very friendly. But I find in my tour groups I've come through here, we've all found that Hanover has a special place in the bad service kind of thing. My students I'm here with right now, they're like, wow, this is the worst service we'd have here. And I'll tell you, this is the city where I had the lady, when I said, oh, do you have an English menu to give to my parents? She goes, yes, and walks away. And I was thinking, oh, she's going to go get an English menu for my parents. Well, 10 minutes later, she comes back with the drinks or whatever, and we're like, the English menu? Yeah, I have an English menu. Oh, can we have one? Oh yeah, of course you can have one. Then she went and brought it. But just know the service in Hanover is especially bad for Germany, at least in my opinion. So just be prepared for that. But let's be honest, those 5 hates, they're not really hates. They're just like mild annoyances. Because honestly, Hanover is a really nice place to visit, and that's why the 5 things you're going to love. Now, the first thing you're going to love about coming to Hanover, guys, like I said, it's a small town in a big city. So you have the shopping, you have the movies and all these other things you get with a big city, but it really feels like a small town. Like you come here to the historic part, guys, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, there's still very few people going around. It just kind of feels like you went to some small village like Goslar or Celle or whatever, and it just kind of like was on steroids and got bigger. But this kind of small town feel in a big city is really nice, and that's why a lot of international people like living here, because I get to have the good parts of the big city, but also the good parts of the small town. And that's one thing I really love about being here, is you get that kind of home feel, which is weird because the people are really nice, but in service they're not so nice. The second thing you're going to love about coming to Hanover is all the green spaces. Guys, there's a Hanover Gardens, okay, where the princes of Hanover have their gardens and stuff, and there it's modeled after Versailles. They have dancing fountains, and there's fireworks in the summer. You have the Eilenrede, this huge park, like 2 times the size of Central Park here. You can go horseback riding, hiking, all kinds of stuff. You can go to the Marseille behind the new town hall, which is cool, and just enjoy the Marseille is the Marsh Lake. There's all kinds of green spaces here. here so you can get away from the city. And I think that's one of the things that makes it kind of the small town feel, is there is so much green here in Hanover. The third thing you're going to love about coming here is the red line. Guys, there's this red line that goes through the town, and it passes through 36 historic sites. It's about 3 miles long, about 4 kilometers long, but it goes all over town. You go get to see Dinanas, the funny looking women statues on the river. You get to go by the market church here. You get to go here downtown, go by all kinds of great stuff here in town, and it makes it really easy for a tourist. You don't need a guide. Go buy the book. It's really cheap, and you can walk the red line to the red thread, okay, and have a good time and see the beautiful stuff that is in Hanover. And they've done a really good job. So if you're here for a trade fair, I highly recommend pick up that book, because if you only have a couple hours, you can walk it in a couple hours, see all the big sites, see all the main stuff, and feel like you've done something while you're here for CeBIT or some other conference, okay? Now, the fourth thing you're going to love about Hanover is the Restored Historic District. I won't lie to you guys. This is the one place I always come when I do come to Hanover, is this historic part. I mean, we're here at Christmas time, so they have a little historic Christmas market here, but they've redone the buildings, the market church, and all kinds of stuff, and you get that little small Germany village kind of feel. I mean, I'm getting just a smiley face talking about it, and it is super nice how they did this. My wife and I, every time we come here, we go, no, we get out of the hotel, we come straight to this district and enjoy the Market Square Church and all the little streets around here, the pedestrian streets, and you get to have that old world German feel in this kind of big city, so it is very nice. And the fifth thing that I love to do when I come here is I love to go to the Brauhaus Ernst August, or the Ernst August Brewery. It's a brewery owned by the Prince of Hanover. And there he makes his own beer. It's basically a microbrewery, okay? But the thing is, it's a very traditional Hanover thing. You go there, and if you want to have that beer hall experience, well, there's not too many beer halls in the north, you go there to this brewery, and they have the, you can have your pork leg, and you can have all the great food and all the great drinks, and the beer there is fantastic, and you can have a great time, and you can take your family, and if you stay late, you can go partying later, and they have bands and all kinds of great stuff. But that's one of the favorite things I like to do. So those are the 5 things you're going to love and hate about visiting Hanover. I hope it helps you enjoy more if you're here for a trade fair just passing through. It is well worth checking out and hopping off the train for the day. If you want to learn more about Hanover, the top 10 sites, or more things about Germany, check us out at our website at woltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, and we appreciate your likes and comments. And bye from Hanover, Germany.